What's up, dudes? What's up, my dudes? I want to talk about prayer and what it means to me, which is not the mainstream. If y'all are familiar with my channel, you already know. I would be considered an unorthodox Christian, meaning I don't follow orthodoxy. They have all their rituals. They carry a piece of the Bible, the piece of the cross on their bodies. They got a rosary at home. They got all kinds of beads. They got a wall full of crosses. I don't do all that shit. All right? I got a little wooden cross on my desk. That's all I need. I got a crystal, like one of them healing crystals. Maybe I'll show it off sometime. And I don't really subscribe to the healing hippie shit either. I just like that kind of stuff because my mother always exposed me to that kind of stuff. So I guess nostalgia is a good word to describe why I like stuff like that. Because I like crystals and kind of knickknacks, things like that. I like tarot cards. I like poker cards because you can fortune tell with poker cards as well. I've been kind of studying that a little bit because I think it's fun, to be honest. There's nothing dark or sinister about it, in my opinion. Like Ouija boards and shit like that. Like I was always exposed to that kind of thing. But I digress. To talk about the prayer thing, I just got off work and some religious nonsense was on the radio. Well, not the radio, but the intercom, the speakers. And, everybody's always praising God and praising Jesus. And I want you to think about this for a second. I always say that God is your Father, your Heavenly Father. Think of Him as the Father with a capital F. Like the Father of fathers. And Jesus would be your big brother, His son. Your big brother who, kind of tells you when you're fucking up, right? Or he beats you up when he pushes you on the ground when you're acting like a dumbass. Or even he just leaves you alone, right? You're climbing, like I said before, you're climbing the highest tree in the yard. He tells you to come down. You're gonna fall off and break your arm, and you say no. And he's like, okay, and he walks off. That's God. That's Jesus. Your big brother and your Father in heaven, who's just letting you go through it. They're just sitting around sipping their coffee, like, okay, let him. There he goes. There he goes smoking weed. There he goes doing cocaine. There he goes shooting heroin. I told him not to do it. I put the spark in him. God talking about you, right? Not saying you do cocaine, but it's like I put the spark in him. I gave him that inner wisdom, or I gave her that inner wisdom, and there they are doing it again anyway. It's really funny. God and Jesus sitting up in heaven, looking down on us, looking at how foolish we are. And if you can imagine that kind of father and that kind of big brother, why would you pray to them? Why would you pray to your father or your big brother? Like, they don't care. They don't care. They care, but they don't care, if that makes sense. They care, but they're going to let you go through it, right? I've said many times before on my channel, God is just letting you go through it. And I don't know what it's going to take to make y'all realize that, but it's none of my business by this point. So you don't need to pray to your Father. What you do to me, what I do, is introspect, which is wrestling with the shadow, wrestling with Satan, wrestling with the thoughts, wrestling with the demons that are tearing at my flesh at all times. Those crazy thoughts you have where you're sitting at home, you're bored, and you just pick up your phone and start scrolling, just scrolling like it's a casino, like it's a slot machine. And that's what it's designed to do, is to distract you. That's the setup. But everything is like that. It's not just the phones, it's not just the video games, it's not just the computers, it's not the gambling, it's not the drinking. Every single thing is like nonstop scrolling on your phone. That's going to be the easiest way to kind of describe it. because everybody that's listening right now, we have a commonality, and that commonality is this technology that's in the palm of our hands. So all of you know what this is like to have your phone out and have just scrolling nonstop. You know, trying to get a thrill. What's going to tickle my brain? What's going to cause vibrations to make me feel like I'm alive again because I'm so dead inside? Every single one of you know how that feels. So that's our commonality, right? Like Billy likes to say, start a simulation. Shout out to him. I'm giving a thumbs up. Right now you can't see it, but I love that word commonality because it's so good. At any rate, so you're looking for the next time you can you're just going through life, right? Looking for the next thing that'll get your adrenaline going or get your neurons rubbing together so you can have a feeling again. Like I said, so you won't feel so dead inside. And that's the time to introspect, when you start doing things like that. It's in your everyday life. Like I made a community post where I said, are you introspecting from the moment you wake up, or am I just full of shit? It was like a poll. I think like 8 people voted. 1 person voted for the second option. I don't know if they're playing. They could have been playing, or they could have meant it, which is fine. If you're not doing that and you think I'm full of shit, great. I'm actually really happy for you, because it's not important. Like, don't worry about it. What I'm saying right now, don't worry about what I'm saying. Like, really. This is for the people that understand what I'm saying, or considering it, the kind of people who the kind of true individual who is going through life, and maybe they're going through rough times, or they have a rough marriage, or they have a rough relationship with their mother or their father, or they have a girlfriend that's nuts, or they have a husband who beats them, or they have a boyfriend who's nuts. Maybe they have a boyfriend who's just really weak, who won't stand up for himself, who won't step in front of them and lead the way. My words are for you, nobody else. And are you introspecting at all times? And the times that you find yourself looking for a thrill, looking for a vibration, that's the time to introspect. That's the time for you to go, why do I need this? And it's okay if you do it. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm not saying don't get on your phone and look at Facebook or whatever. What I'm saying is, why can't I just sit still for a minute? And I want you to try this. Next time you have the impulse to just, as soon as you get home, right, to sit at your computer, or this is what I do. I'm going to give my example for me. Like, as soon as I get home, I just want to get on my computer and play a video game. That's just me, all right? But let's say next time I do that, instead of doing that, I sit down on the couch for a minute and just kind of maybe sit in the dark, or maybe just, you can sit with the light on, that don't matter. But just sit down and think about why you want to immediately go and sit down at your computer. That's what I do. Or how come when you're at work, when you should be working, instead you're on your phone, you're hiding in the bathroom, just scrolling through your phone, right? You know, texting your girlfriend or whatever. Like, just ask yourself and you'll find the answer. Because the answer is somewhere buried deep in your past. Obviously. That's really obvious, right? But I'm saying, like, it's hidden deep within your psyche. And it's actually more on the surface level than you even know, than you even realize. And that's that's true prayer, in my opinion. It's seeking, like when you're seeking answers, when you're introspective, because all the answers in your life, all the answers to your problems, to your life, are within you already. You don't need a guru. You don't need a psychologist. We've been over this before. You don't need a padre. You don't need a preacher. You don't need a priest. You don't need an exorcism. Everything, all the answers you're seeking are within you already. And it's about teasing them out and finding the answer that way. That's true prayer, not this silly little hooping and hollering prayer that these crazy Catholics do, these crazy Christians do. It's like, oh, God bless my mother, bless my father, you know, I want money, I want this, I want that, I want a car, I want a truck. And when they get it, they'll praise Jesus, right? Oh, praise God, he gave me a Lamborghini, I'm so happy. And it's like, no, you didn't. God didn't give you that. We already talk about manifestation on this channel. It's like, that didn't come from God. That came from Satan, like without a doubt. Like that monitor I got in my community post is like, I don't know where that came from, man. Did I manifest that? Like, okay, thanks. Free 32-inch monitor on my desk right now. And it's like, nice. And I don't think much of it after that. It's like, okay, I'm so used to this. I'm so used to manifestation and these synchronicities already. It don't even faze me. Anyway, guys, I think that's it for now. If I have more to say, I'll add it later. You have a great day. Bye-bye.